Fee-Fi-Fo-Fum as the example, let's walk through how we might go about improvising over these chord changes. We got this first chord, which is E flat 7. Alright, so I'll just play a basic E flat 7. Okay, now where we start is pretty up in the air. I'll start from the 9. Okay, and then I'll do a passing tone on the way to the 3rd. Cool. Then I'll go up to the 5th, how about? And 6th, and the flat 7. So now all I have is this. You can add any kind of phrasing you want there. Okay, and then I'll repeat that last line. Alright, now from here we got a D7 chord. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my pinky and move it up a fret. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play. And then I'm going to go down the pentatonic scale. Like that. And I'm actually thinking of that 3-note per string pentatonic scale, the one that looked like this. Alright, but I'm not going to go down the whole thing. I'm just going to picture that in my mind to get to there. So I had this, the E flat 7, and then descending down that A minor pentatonic scale over the D7 chord. Okay? And now, how about this? I'll play the 4, the flat 3rd, and then slide that up to the major 3rd, and then the 5th. Alright? Now after that we have a G minor 7 chord. Now, what I would do here maybe, or what I feel like doing at the moment, would be moving my middle finger up a fret. I'll slide that from what was the 3rd of the D7 chord, and would be a major 7 over the minor 7 chord, so it's melodic minor. Okay? And then starting from here, I'm going to jump down with my index finger onto the D string, 8th fret. Alright? And that's the flat 3rd. So now let's see what we've got. Alright. Now how about this? I'll go ahead and play the 9 on the B string, which is the 10th fret, because I'm talking about the 9th interval in relation to the chord. And then I'm going to use that low, the flat 3rd that we played on the D string, as a pedal tone. Alright. Now I'd like to keep that going, you know, maybe something like... But to make it more interesting, I'm going to change that pedal tone. So I'll keep it. And then here, I'm going to move it up so I'm not playing an octave. Instead, I'll be playing, how about, I'll be playing the 4 on the G minor 7 chord. So now we have this. Alright. And then I'll continue that up as I did here, but instead of staying on the 4, because then I'll have an octave and I want to keep it a little more interesting, I'll do a 5th. Alright, so that's the 5th of the G minor 7 chord. So that would be pretty cool. I like that a lot, actually. The A flat major 7. Alright. Now, how about this? I'll go up to the 5th with my pinky, but I'm going to go down to the 7th on the B string. So I had this. Alright. And then, you'll see where I'm going with this in a minute. I'll use my ring finger on the 9th and my index finger on the, how about the sharp 11? And then back down to where I started. So that was, I'm doing that all over an A major 7 chord. You can do it a lot of ways. You could do it with a slide if you want. Alright, and then we have the B major 7. So since I've ended here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my index finger on the B, which is 1 fret below. Alright, and I've got my ring finger on the 6th degree of the chord here. So I could do kind of a hammer onto it and pull off to the 5th. Just something you might expect over dominant chord. But this is actually a major 7 chord. Still works because we're not playing anything that would violate the B major 7 chord. We just got the root, the 5th, and the 6th. Okay? And now, actually, I'll complete it, make it even more bluesy sounding by going to the 3rd. Or even kind of country. Yeah. And that's the B major 7 chord. And now what I can do is I can see this D major triad because we have a D7 chord coming next. So I'll just play the, I ended with a B major triad, so I'll start the next chord with a D triad, like that. In fact, if I wanted, I could make it a 7th chord by playing this note. Here it sounds kind of tense in its own way, but let's see what it sounds like when put together. What I did there, just trying it out, I just walked down from the root to the flat 7 to the 6, and then the 5th, and then next we got a D minor 7 chord coming. So it'll be neat is if I did the same thing but altered it in some way. Why don't I move it down, because we have a D minor 7 chord, and I'll do it here. So what I did is I imagined the D minor triad in my head. Alright, and I just played the G, B, and E string, which you'll notice is actually an F major triad. And I'll put my pinky on the 8th fret of the high E, and then I'm going to walk that down to the 7th fret and the 5th fret, and then put my pinky on the 8th fret of the B string. So that is the flat 7, 6th, 5th, and 4th. Alright. So over the D7 chord I had this. And then over the D minor 7 I had this. So I got a little motif going. I'd like to keep it going. Next we have a G7. Alright, so I'll take it from the altered scale and see how that sounds. We did D minor 7. So how about this? That's cool. If I can leave that high E ringing, I'll have a lot of tension, which I like. Alright. Now the notes I'm playing here over G are the 3rd, the sharp 9, the flat 9, and then right here we got the root. So I'm just playing, but I'm playing it on top of a major 3rd and a sharp 5. So, start from that B, we had D7, D minor 7, and then G7, because I'm doing the altered scale, to the E flat 7. So this is kind of like in the beginning of the song. And just deciding to keep that motif going now, I'm using the C shape, if you know your cage system, and I'm doing it from the 6th fret. But I'm only doing the high 4 strings of the guitar. Putting my pinky on the 6th fret, moving it down a fret, and then again. So I had the 5th of the chord, that's the 6th fret of the high string, the sharp 11 of the chord, and the 3rd fret, which is going to be the 3rd. And then I'm using my pinky on the 9th. Keeping this triad the whole time. Alright. The next chord is a D7. So you could do the whole thing down a fret if you wanted. Why not? And after that we have a G minor 7. Now, that's a bit lazy what I just did. I just played the minor triad like this. And I mean, it feels a little lazy to me, so I did the 9, and then just walk down the triad, like when you play a G minor chord. Maybe I could make it melodic minor, so I could do this. That's a little cooler, in my opinion. That's it. You can get it to ring out. That tension is really nice. And then it continues to A flat, but let's just recap for a minute on what we've got here. We had that E flat 7 chord. Yeah, I did it fast. D7, and then G minor 7, A flat major 7, B major 7, D7, D minor 7, G7, I'm playing altered, to E flat 7, D7, G minor 7, but I'm going to play minor major 7, and then maybe I could do A flat Lydian. That sounds nice, especially after that melodic minor. Alright, now after that we have a C7 chord, and they say flat 9. It is a functioning dominant chord because it's the 5 of the next, which is F7. So let's see here. I could do your F flat 9 like they suggest. If I want to change it a bit, I could do the sharp 5 as the low note. So it'd be like this. That's pretty neat. I like that. And then F7. Now I can change this just a little bit and have a cool variation there for that F7. I'll keep my ring finger, and that'll be the sharp 9 of the F7. And I'll put my middle finger, instead of on the G string as we had before on the C7 chord, I'll put it on the root, which is the 3rd fret of the D string. That's the root of the F7. And then I'm going to put my index finger on the 2nd fret of the G and B string. Sorry. There we go. So it's C altered. Sounds tense. F altered. Sounds tense. And then B flat 7. And I kept this here the whole time. Okay, so that is the B flat 7 chord, but an inversion. Alright. In fact, if I wanted, I could do a, I like that, little trill on the B flat 7 chord at the end. I'm playing a third inversion, and then I'm doing a hammer on and pull off to the root. Alright. E flat 7, D7, G minor 7, A flat major 7, B major 7, D7, D minor 7, G7, and then E flat 7, D7, G minor 7, but I'm doing melodic minor, to A major 7, or sorry, A flat major 7, and I'm playing Lydian there. Then to the C7 chord, just playing chord, F7, B flat 7. really like that trill at the end. I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, that's just an inside look on just one approach. You find out where you want to start from and then see where it leads you. And you can do it sort of in slow motion that way, where you just do one chord and, well, where would be a nice place to go from here? And then you do that, see if you can remember it, or write it down if you prefer. That's probably smarter in the long run. And then after you get through all that tricky part, then you can just practice that. And then when you feel like you've got it really well, you should probably try to come up with a whole new path. Start from a different place and let it take you to a different place, because you don't want to you don't want to be too lick oriented in a way, especially not in a extremely specific way, like, oh, I've got a lick for this one song that'll take me through 2 staves of music. You're not going to be able to use that very often. So instead, what you can do is use this way of thinking, starting someplace and creating a path from the beginning to the end, and just do it, write it down maybe if you got some good ideas in there you don't want to forget, and then just do it all over again, because what you really want to get used to is you want to gain the ability to navigate through changes differently every time and with freedom and in a natural way, where wherever you start from will take you to someplace, and you won't artificially jump to some other spot on the neck and some other idea or some other motif that's not relevant to anything you played before, simply because it's a lick that you know really well. And we want to kind of get out of that. Any questions?